Worldwide, cardiovascular disease affects the lives of hundreds of millions. Dedicated cardio nerds everywhere are working hard to fight this global epidemic. These are their stories.
Hey cardio nerds, it's Amit Goyal. Welcome back to the sixth and final part of the evolution of the neurohormonal hypothesis with the Dr. Milton Packer. Thank you so much for joining us for this incredible journey. Dr. Packer has touched the lives of so many of our patients through landmark discovery and his leadership over numerous practice-changing clinical trials. But what does Dr. Packer think is the only thing that matters? What does he think Dr. Eugene Braunwald's greatest contribution to cardiology was? And what, in his view, is the secret to immortality? Well, it all comes down to mentorship. This part of the discussion was particularly meaningful for us because mentorship and sponsorship is such an important part of the CardioNerds mission and a central tenet of the CardioNerds Academy. We hope you've enjoyed these incredible moments with Dr. Milton Packer as much as we have. And friends, remember, CardioNerds is an independent, fellow-founded educational platform with a mission to democratize cardiovascular education. The views expressed here do not necessarily represent the opinions or policies of our employers. Help others find this podcast by rating and reviewing the show. And as always, speaker disclosures are available in the episode description. Now, let's get nerdy. Our last question is related to another CardioNerds guest luminary, Dr. Eugene Braunwald. And I'd like to read you a quote that you offered in thinking about a special relationship you have with him. And I'll quote, "We have an ongoing joke. I ask, Gene, what is your most important contribution to cardiology? And when I first posed the question, he gave me an academic answer, which I politely dismissed. Puzzled, he wanted to know what I thought the answer was. I reminded him that our major contributions to science are not found in the work that we do, but instead reside in the people whom we influence. Gene and I both have hundreds of academic children, and it is our most important professional legacy." So, Dr. Packer, this really resonates with us at CardioNerds because in our mission to democratize cardiovascular education, we have 5 stated goals that we've written out to continue to be our guiding light. And one of them is to continue to provide mentorship and sponsorship to our peers and colleagues around us.
Look, the only thing that matters is mentoring. It's the only thing that matters. It is the only goal that matters. Why? Because it is our only secret to immortality. Why do you have children? Why do you have biological children? Well, I guess there are all sorts of reasons. It's pretty complicated. Maybe we can spend another hour and a half talking about why people have kids. But the major reason that you have kids is that you want to achieve some sense of yourself when you're not here anymore. So academic children are as important in many ways as biological children. We love you. We want you to succeed. We teach you everything that we know, but the most important thing we teach you is how to think and what to value. And if you can learn that from us, and you can think the way that we think, and you can value what we value, then we live forever. And there's no greater privilege in life. I have people who, I can't count how many people. I don't want to count how many people. But I remember that the conversation with Gene because Gene came to visit me in Dallas and we went out for breakfast. And during breakfast, I said to Gene, what's your most important contribution? And he said, reduction in myocardial infarct size. I said, no. I think he was taken aback. He said, okay, what's my most important contribution? You trained the leaders of cardiology. You changed the way that hundreds of people thought. You not only have cardiology children, you have cardiology grandchildren. You have cardiology great-grandchildren. You have influenced the way that thousands of people think, and as a result, the way that millions of people are managed. And you think that reduction of myocardial infarct size is your greatest contribution? He just smiles. He just smiles. We finished breakfast. 4 months later, we're at a meeting. It happened to have been a meeting that Chris O'Connor puts on in Nova every year. And Gene and I were at the meeting. And Gene was being interviewed as a special guest. And the interviewer said, Dr. Brumwald, what do you think is your major contribution to cardiology? And he said, I think it's because of all of the people I have trained and influenced over the years. He says, I think that's my biggest contribution to cardiology. And I'm sitting in the audience and I have the biggest smile on my face. Gene comes off the podium. I said, Gene, you gave them the right answer. You didn't give them the answer you originally gave me. He said, Milton, I'm educable.
Wow, Dr. Packer, that is an amazing way to close. This has been just a delightful discussion. We've covered so much in terms of serendipitous discoveries, true grit and passion for the field, approach to trials, and so many clinical pearls, tips and tricks, and also life lessons. We could not be more excited to have been here with you tonight. And yeah, my son, Sammy, he heard all my laughing from all of your comedy, and he decided that he's going to join us for the rest of this recording. But I just wanted to thank you again, and thank you to Shirlene and Mark for being able to be here with us.
Let me just tell you, this is just great. This is really special. Let me just close by telling you why. You have given me the greatest privilege I can have. You've given me a chance to tell stories. How many opportunities in life do you have to tell stories? I have 2 wonderful children. I love telling them stories. But after a while, you get the impression that they sort of are getting a little bit bored and maybe I've told too many stories. And you can always tell when they pick up their cell phones and all of a sudden you get the impression, well, maybe I don't have their undivided attention. Well, you've given me an opportunity to tell stories for over an hour and a half. How much more fun can one possibly have than that?
Agreed.
I just have to say that we were so thrilled when another CardioNerds guest alumna, Dr. Nanette Wenger, received the 2020 Eugene Brunwald Academic Mentorship Award. And on the topic of mentorship, what you, Dr. Brunwald, Dr. Wenger, and so many others, what you've done to change the way we think, inspire us as CardioNerds, the legacy that you've given us, we are so grateful to have. And we're always happy as CardioNerds to be a medium for you to share your stories and disseminate into the world. So this has been amazing, and we certainly hope that this will not be the last. Thank you so much, Dr. Packer.
Thank you.